Assalamualaikum. My name is Enny binti Samsudin and I am going to explain on question 1. Let's begin with the GFA. The site area as stated in the question is 3000 meters square and the plot ratio is 1:5. So the total GFA 3000 meters square times by 5 equal to 15,000 meters square. As you can see here at my left hand side is all the items will be calculated. At the right hand side is present value method and annual equivalent method. Begins with the land cost. The cost of the land is 350 ringgit but times by 3000 meters square, so we have 1,050,000 ringgit. In the present value method table, the land cost will be times by amount of 1 at 4.5 years at the remunerative rate 7.5%, which is 1.3846 equal to 1,453,830 ringgit. In annual equivalent method, the total will be times with the remunerative rate, which is 7.5. The total cost is 109,037 ringgit and 25 cents. For annual management cost, excluding the first year, 5% of construction cost, which is equal to 2,323,937 ringgit and 50 cents. For present value method, we are using PV of 1 per annum at 59 years at 7.5 remunerative rate, and the new total cost is 30,551,179 ringgit and 56 cents. Meanwhile, in the annual equivalent method, there is no changes because the price is already calculated in PV of 1 per annum. For maintenance and operating cost, it is 450,000 per year. For present value method, it will have a new total cost, which is 5,721,730 ringgit. In the annual equivalent method, there is also no changes as it is calculated per year. The total is stay the same, 5,921,730 ringgit Malaysia. Next is replacement of minor services. In the present value method table, we are using PAP of 1 at 5 years at 7.5%. So here we will be doing it every 5 years. So we have 5, 10, 15, 20th, 25, 30th, 35, 40th, 45, 45th, 50th and 55th. Only certain numbers of years will have the value based on the valuation table, because every 10 years they have the major services, so it will not be calculated. For the total value of all the included years is 1.3355, equivalent to 333,875 ringgit, the new total cost. In the annual equivalent method, the minor services is times by ASF plus I, which is 0.0824, with a new total cost of 27,511 ringgit and 30 cents. Moving on to the replacement of major services. Major services is every 10 years. So in present value method, we are using PV of 1 at 10 years at 7.5%. So the total value of the included major services years is 0.6263 times by 500,000, and we will have 313,150 ringgit. In annual equivalent method table, the same as before, the total cost will be times by ASF plus I, with the new cost, which is 25,803 ringgit and 56 cents. Next item is major renovation. Major renovation, we are using PV of 1 every 20 years at 7.5%. The total of the value from the valuation table is 0.2908 from 20th years and 40th years times by 5 million, and the final answer will be 1,454,000. In the annual equivalent method, it will be times by ASF plus I with a new total, which is 119,809 ringgit and 60 cents. So as you can see here, the total present value method is 95,506,514 ringgit and 56 cents. Meanwhile, for annual equivalent method, the total is 41,326,520 ringgit and 27 cents. For total current of present value, we are using PV of 1 at 4.5 years at 7.5%, which is equivalent to 0.7222 times by the total PV, which is 95,506,514 ringgit and 56 cents. So the new total is 68,974,804 ringgit and 81 cents. For total current of annual equivalent, we are using PV of 1 at 4.5 years at 7.5%, same as the PV, total current of PV, which is 0.7222 times by the total cost of annual equivalent, which is 41,326,520 ringgit and 27 cents, which have the new total, which is 29,846,012 ringgit and 94 cents.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Atiqah binti Enny and I will discuss on question 2. Here is the questions and all the important information that is needed. The question asks to calculate the annual equivalence of each choices of air conditioning, which is between the water chillers and all air system. The calculation starts with initial cost, where each initial cost needs to multiples with ASF plus I. This is because the cost will become zero automatically after passing an economic life of 25 years. Therefore, the cost must be multiples by ASF plus I in order to find the cost annually. The details calculations is shown in the figure here. The next step is to calculate running costs, where the cost given need to be multiples by 12 months as the cost given is in per month. The answer does not need to multiples by ASF plus I as it already represents annually. Let's moving on to the third step, which is major servicing. Since the cost given represents the cost for every 5 years, we need to use the formula of PV of 1 for every 5 years up until 20 years using interest rate of 6%, and then multiples it with ASF plus I, since we need to find the cost annually. 25 years is not included because it already reached its economic life. Furthermore, the years that have replacements of components also will not included. This is because it will count under the replacements of components later on. All the details calculations are shown in the figure here. Next is the replacements of the components, where the calculation steps is almost similar to major servicing. However, the only difference is the years and the cost. The figure here shows all the details calculations for the replacements of the components. Moving on to the salvage value, where the cost given need to multiples to ASF plus I since the cost given is not in annually. This calculation steps is similar to the calculations of initial cost. The only difference is the cost itself. And the figure here shows the details calculations for the salvage value. Then, after finish calculate everything, all the total cost of each alternative need to sum up to calculate the totals annual equivalent. This figure here shows the totals annual equivalent for each alternative. The last step to calculate the percentage difference in cost. The formula is shown in the figure here, where the big number minus the smaller number and then divided by the big number. Then the answer needs to be multiples to 100 in order to find the percentage. The final answer is 20.47%. To conclude everything, all air system is much cheaper than water chiller system by 20.47%. Therefore, all air system is the best alternative for the clients.